Good afternoon, everyone. This is Sarah of 007 Intel Private Investigations, and joining me is Evan J. Ray, retired supervisory special agent of the Federal Bureau of Investigation. That's a mouthful. The FBI. And Evan is joining me, and we decided to create a podcast to talk everything PI, everything law enforcement, and just whatever, sort of comes up, whether it be in the daily news and whatnot. So welcome, Evan.
Glad to be here. Good afternoon.
So something that we get asked frequently is with regard to private investigation or Gator licenses versus firm licenses, as it would apply in Texas. Of course, these are issued by the Texas Department of Public Safety. So, Evan, why don't you tell our audience what is the difference between a firm license versus an individual PI license, kind of like your pocket card, and do you have to have both? And can one be expired and one be
valid?
Valid,
sure.
Correct. Thank you.
Well, the difference is an individual to perform regulated services, that is PI services, and there's a definition of that in the statute. One has to be licensed, and that's the individual license that you have. Now, to provide those services as a business, commercially, get paid for performing them, you have to be affiliated with a PI firm that has a firm license. So that's the company license, and there's different requirements. And there has to be the owner and the primary company representative has to have certain experience in their background, and they have to have been given the firm license by DPS, who, as you mentioned, administers this, and then their employees or contractors that are PIs have to have an individual license to be able to work for that firm.
Okay, so this brings me to my next question. Let's say you're Joe Schmo, okay, and you are, or maybe at one time were, a licensed private investigator, and you also have a firm license. Let's call it XYZ Private Investigations. So you're advertising services as both Joe Schmo and XYZ Private Investigations, but maybe one of your clients wants to ensure that your license is valid. So they put in Joe Schmo, and then womp womp, they discover that Joe Schmo's license is expired by, let's say, 4 or 5 months, okay? Even though XYZ Private Investigations is valid, is Joe Schmo operating illegally?
I believe so. Because,
the answer is yes.
Yeah.
We already know the answer. That's yes.
It is yes.
And we actually spoke with DPS this morning about that very situation this morning.
Yes. So the XYZ firm license is valid. So it has the ability to legally have licensed private investigators working for it. However, the key word is licensed private investigators. If one's license is expired, then your status is not as a licensed PI. And so it's not a matter of the firm license superseding or anything. One cannot provide regulated services without a license. And without an individual license, and it must be done under the umbrella of a firm license.
Right. So we're saying that the umbrella license, I can't even talk. I'm sorry. It's in the middle of the day. So the firm license, I think some people have this assumption that, the firm license is going to serve as like an umbrella for an expired individual license, right? And that's a big no-no. You need to be current on both.
That is correct. If either of the licenses, let's say your individual license is valid, but the firm license is not, you cannot provide services. If the firm license is valid, but your individual license is not as well, you would not be able to provide services.
Another
legally.
requirement also is insurance as well. So
Correct. And one of the reasons that we have noticed that licenses become expired or suspended is for lack of insurance. The Department of Public Safety, again, administers all of this program, and they require certain levels of insurance. And of course, you want any PI that you use to be fully insured, and that also shows that the insurance company has done their due diligence and you are a legitimate business. Yeah.
very good, because I can think of a few people here in the state of Texas who were operating illegally. And just speaking on that note, okay, Evan, do you remember that time? It was like about a month and a half ago. We were in San Antonio and we were having a great day, minding our own business. Someone comes on our Facebook page and has the audacity to accuse us of being fake PIs, or maybe
Being scammers, I believe.
oh no, that was the Yelp review.
That was the Yelp review, yes.
That was Richard C. Mr. I like to go to coffee places.
Yes.
And we know who Richard is, by the way. We've actually been focusing on that investigation. I think kind of zooming in, narrowing down suspects, and we uncovered the guy. And in our own investigation, let's sort of rewind. So I would say probably sometime in March. I think it was in the month of March, right?
I believe so.
Yeah, we were in San Antonio on business, and it was a beautiful day. We were like, oh, this is the first day in like a whole week. We've had a break. And sure enough, I found this one Facebook page where I don't really know what these people really do, but I don't know, it just seems like it's filled with hate. I was giggling because I found a fake Texas PI card. I said, Evan, take a look at this. I mean, I'm like, I'm not sure what this Facebook page is about, but it just, I think they expose PIs or something. I don't know like what their whole purpose is, but I digress. But so anyway, I guess I had copied the link and posted it, like implying that this is, if you see a card like this in Texas, like don't fall for that scam. I think this is what happened, okay? This is going to be, hang in there with me, guys, okay? So the guy, one of the moderators of this Facebook page, I guess got like a little bell notification that I must have, added the link to our business page. And then suddenly we get this guy from, I think, like Mexico City. It looked like a fake Facebook profile.
Purported to be from Mexico City.
Yeah. And this guy was just, coming after us like, you're like interrogating us. It's like, who the hell are you? Like who are you? I'm like, here's Evan's personal cell phone number. Give him a call. Like, be a man, Mr. Machismo, and have a man-to-man conversation, because as many of you all know, Evan is a retired supervisory special agent at the FBI. He is not a scammer, okay? Unlike a lot of the wannabe, cops who miraculously got, a PI license. Sometimes we question, some of these people getting licenses. But this guy just, had so much venom and hate. Evan, don't you remember that?
Yeah, and was accusing us of not being licensed, of not,
what a moron,
being a firm and all that. Yeah, which is easy to prove. One of the things in Texas that is very easy to do is to check online at the Department of Public Safety website. It's called TOPS.
Well, so yes, it's TOPS. But I think what this guy was saying is that I guess there was some kind of an administrative mix-up where the company wasn't linked, but it was your name, and I can't remember what it was specifically. It was an administrative fix with the DPS, and it was a DBA. And so anyway, long story short, that got fixed immediately. They were like, oh, not a big deal. We've got it all fixed. And so now when you look up Evan J. Ray or 007 Intel, you see that we ain't got nothing to hide.
Yeah.
Sorry.
It is
Sorry.
all the different entities, personal and the firms that are in the company name, my name, they're all affiliated now with each other. And they were before, but it just wasn't as easy to see. And this person apparently did just a cursory view and got no results, or he could have spelled my name wrong or something and gotten no result. And they immediately posted, "Oh, they're not licensed," or whatever.
Well, no, they didn't post on that day. What happened was this clown, this coward, kept trolling our page. Was just, I mean, so much anger. I'm like, dude, this guy's demon possessed, or something. I mean, we're Christian, and that we make no secret of it. Our faith is interwoven with everything that we do. And I said, this person, like, who the hell is this person? I mean, just the hate and the venom. And this was pissing Evan off. Evan was like, give me the guy's number. I'm like, no, he's not going to give you his number. I gave him your personal cell phone number, because we have nothing to hide. We have absolutely nothing to hide. And the thing is, then what I did is before I blocked this guy, I don't think I still got to navigate the whole Facebook business page, because, like, whatever. Like, I mean, up until this point, we didn't care about having a Facebook, a Yelp, a Google reviews. None of that matters. We're all word of mouth, okay? We don't need all that Mickey Mouse stuff. We don't even have to, even a professional website. Like, we had it up, like, 6 months ago, and I said, you know what, like, it's just a informational page, really. We don't get business off of our personal website. So anyway, I decided to archive the Facebook page, secure the metadata and all that good stuff. So at some point in time, I could revisit it and really, comb through it, all the likes, all the interests, all the posts, even the profile photo and things of that sort, because I thought, this person, with that much hate coming at us, it just seemed like it was, I don't know, something was off about this person, it just...
And we were having trouble figuring out why we were being targeted. Again, probably just some sort of misunderstanding. Someone is
but if it's
doing research and not doing it right.
If it's a misunderstanding, you freaking send us a private message and you ask us about it. But you clearly, this shows me that this person doesn't have good research skills, okay? Because anybody with sophisticated research skills or investigative skills could say, okay, this might just be an administrative thing, but I can see that the lead investigator is licensed under both a firm and an individual. And then you've got, like, the bells and whistles when it comes to all the, PI, and regulatory, services and whatnot. So clearly I thought, this guy just doesn't know anything, really. And then just the hate coming from that person mirrored the hate of this one Facebook page that is devoted to just hating people. It's like, if you really think you're doing God's work, why don't you actually write a dossier, submit it to the DPS, do it that way? Why do you have to freaking go after people online? You're just a bully and a coward. And so anyway, a lot of times, like, what's that whole saying, Evan? Like, when it comes to projection?
Yeah. What someone complains the loudest about is what they are actually doing. And they see that in everyone else. They project that to everybody around them. So what we decided to do when we...
Well, wait. Remember, we discovered the Yelp review.
Yes.
It was posted on April the 2nd of 2022. And it was, we were just working hard. We don't Google ourselves. I mean, that's changed now. Now we're making sure no one is posting trash, fake, illegal, libelous reviews about us. But 10 days had passed, and I think it was like on the 12th or 13th. It was right before Good Friday. And I said, this was like, gosh, I mean, I don't know if it was like in the middle of the day, but my heart stopped. I said, Evan, look at this review here. I said, somebody is saying that we're fake investigators. Naturally, now, my suspicion turned to this person, okay? But then there's somebody else who had plagiarized one of my Fiverr gigs, the license plate one. And so I had reported this person on that same day we got the visit to a Yelp account we had no idea we ever really registered for, or I don't know if it just crawled and scanned a lot of our data that was already out there and then just whatever. But needless to say, we had a 1-star Yelp review by a Richard C., who on that same day left a fake review for a coffee shop. Okay, so we know Richard C. likes coffee, out of Houston. I think I can't remember where this coffee shop was located, maybe Midtown. I don't know. I live in River Oaks, or lived, I should say. We recently moved, but so I don't know this coffee shop, but yeah.
And we knew that this was not a real review.
Of course
for
not.
For a couple of reasons.
It
One,
was
because
so
it
fake.
was a 1-star, and our clients have all been happy with
our
work.
We have perfect 5 stars. We've never had anything but.
Secondly, it had all the signs of a fake review. No specificity. It wasn't about anything that, they could say was done. Just these people are, scammers or something.
Be careful.
Yeah.
Be careful with these guys. They're scammers. It was disgusting. Just absolutely sick. Sick in the head this person is. I mean, sick. Just a total coward thug. Just call him for what he is, a thug. And a loser.
We, of course, took up the issue with Yelp, and they investigated it and removed the review because it was obviously a fake.
Well, here's the problem, though, Evan. You see, a lot of our business is, online, right? So the thing is, we didn't know that this review was floating around for 10 days, okay? No one alerted it to us. We just, did a quick cursory search of our name because I think we were looking for a certain link or something that was populating in the Google sphere, okay? And sure enough, when I did that, boom, that 1-star review was so visible to anybody that, let's say there was a high-dollar client out there who was looking for someone to conduct investigations or background checks for forever, like a forever client, and they decide that, okay, let me see what people are saying off of this one platform that we use, and go on Google. They could have seen that review, that fake review, and that would have maybe spooked them to the point where they thought, I'm not going to give them any money. So we could have lost out on, let's say lifetime $10,000 to $20,000 because of this clown. And I know a lot about legal proceedings and the law, and I was like, I'm going to sue this person. And we're going to pursue this with DPS. I'm going to investigate every aspect about this clown, this coward, because you don't do that to people when you don't have the facts. We understand that this wannabe investigator has never worked a day in law enforcement, okay? He probably tried applying to the FBI, but Quantico was like, hell no. Sorry, Evan. I'm sorry. I'm pissed.
Quite all right.
Pissed.
I understand. I have been too about this, and that's one of the reasons that we don't check Yelp all the time and that sort of thing. Just as a platform, it does lend itself to fake reviews and things. And so we looked into it. We put together all of the items that were happening both in the Yelp review and the website, and came to some conclusions as to what we believed the source of this was. And as Sara mentioned, it appears to be an individual who doesn't have any actual law enforcement experience, and also may have had at one time a PI license, but
It's expired.
but it is expired, and
oh man,
they
you can't make this stuff up, Evan. It's hilarious. It would be funny if it wasn't so sad.
yeah, and
hypocritical.
When they are making so much noise, if you will, about everybody following the rules and why aren't we, and they're out reviewing everyone else when they're, in fact, their own house is not in order. And that could be part of the reason. They could be just angry because their license won't be renewed.
Maybe they're just incompetent. They just don't know any better. They're like, oh, the firm license will be the umbrella over my individual pocket license. And that's a big no-no, because we know our firm license expires in late 2022 and our individual pocket cards expire in 2023. And so it's like, if you're, especially when you're using your first and last name, with private investigator as well, in addition, that would be okay. But that was the very thing they were accusing us of, because you're Evan J. Ray, and it's like, wait, hypocrite, which is it? Are you advertising under your real name, which is all over? I don't know how many Facebook accounts this person has, but it's like, I don't know, so many, just beating on his chest, and I'm so great. Look at me. It's like, please, and I'm not trying, please understand that, I'm not mocking this. It's just that it's sad, it's hypocritical. And the thing is, you got to have your house in order. You got to make sure that the individual pocket card expires. I mean, it's valid. It doesn't. It's not expired. That's what I'm trying to say. Evan, I'm going to let you take over. I need some water.
Well, just if you're going to take it upon yourself to be the reviewer of other people and determiner of other people's status, and make a noise about it when you think you've found something, again, you should be
and posting libel on Yelp. Libel. 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 That's injury to somebody's reputation.
And that's what we have no way of determining, is what possible opportunities were lost during that period when there was a very negative and very fake review on there.
I think people are jealous. Let's just call it for what it is.
And it could
I'm
be.
tired of being politically correct, Evan. We were, in the beginning, we were very PC, and now I'm like, you know what? Let's just go and let me find all of your clips from, your archive clips. I want the world to see what real experience looks like. We've got a retired DEA agent of 22 years. We've got you, 20 plus 26, 27 year or 28. I can't remember, but and then you've got me as well. And it's like, DPS, FBI, DEA, FDA, OIG is a whole alphabet soup. And then you get, Mr. Security Guard,
who with an expired PI license, and they're out
hurting people,
judging and causing harm to actual working licensed.
And I mean no offense to security guards, because we're friends with a lot of awesome, wonderful security guards who do God's work every single day.
Absolutely.
And they're humble, and they would never in a million years, especially, let's say, if they had an expired PI card, they wouldn't call themselves a private investigator. They would say, I had at one point in time a PI license. It has since been expired, so I am focusing strictly on doing security. Which is admirable, which is something that is highly respected. And so, the reason why I'm calling this out is because this hurt us. I didn't sleep for 3 days straight, nor did Evan. I don't think. We were both like, what the hell? And again, we make no secret about our faith. We're both Christians, okay? And we always think that whenever you're working hard and you're serving God, You're serving the Lord, the highest, King of kings, Lord of lords, the one Father in heaven. I'm telling you guys, God's real. I've experienced a divine intervention. I know that, without a doubt in my mind. So the thing is, sometimes when you're deep in your faith and you're doing good work, and a lot of people are very happy, and you've changed lives because of the investigations you run, a lot of times the enemy, guys, listen very carefully, the enemy sends his wicked children, the narcissistic, self-absorbed, wannabe RoboCops out to try to hurt the Christians. I'm telling you, it happens every single friggin' day.
Yeah, and
Ephesians
well
6:12.
Very well put, and that was what we were wondering. We didn't. This wasn't a client. This was just someone out of the blue attacking us. We're trying to work, do our work, do good works, and provide the help that our clients need. And then these sorts of things have to be dealt with. And it is frustrating, very frustrating. But I want everyone to know that we have dealt with it. We are dealing with it. And we don't just sit back and say, oh gosh, I wonder why he's doing that. No, we look into it. We figured out who it was. We still don't know why, but of course we can probably never know, other than they were just angry at the world or at those who are working successfully, But we will investigate it and act upon it, not just complain about it.
And I am praying for this person, and I do, based on what I could see. It looks like this person, does good work. Assuming that, the Google reviews are of merit and authentic. But the thing is, you don't do that to other people's businesses. That is so bad, guys. You don't do that to people. You hurt two people who served, the community with in the law enforcement field, vetted and verifiable experience, and to be, trashed like that, it breaks my heart, honestly. It's like, how sad a person must be, whose heart is filled with so much hatred, to do that to somebody else. That's terrible. Shame on you.
And someone that they don't even know.
Well, they
just know what what background we have out there.
Well, they think. Here's the thing. Now we're getting this a lot. People think we're fake because there's so much, I think, excellence in, you, Evan, your CV, your background. It is almost like, wow, I could have a retired FBI agent who's been featured in all these great docuseries, on TLC or what is it, Discovery. I'm just throwing them out there.
And Oxygen.
And all that. I can get that guy, and people are like, it's got to be fake. And it's like, no, dude, you can verify this a million ways, inside and out. So I told Evan, we gotta let's go through the archives, find all of your interviews. Let's do a podcast. Let's do a YouTube, where you can see us talking, among each other. We're getting our little green screen and all of our stuff, because we're gonna actually go out there and put ourselves out there and have, a YouTube Q&A, ask an investigator, ask a retired FBI agent. And we're going to talk about some of the cases without disclosing anything of that's confidential or restricted, but kind of giving you a glimpse of some of the cases we've worked on. And Evan, some of his experiences at the Bureau, and all those things. So, I said, I think everything happens for a reason. I think that we were targeted, but we only came out stronger, Evan. What do you say?
And it just made us more determined to get the right information out there and get information out there to anyone who wants to hear what the myths and misconceptions are about PIs, about what things can and can't be done, just all sorts of good information, useful information about the industry.
I agree. And and we're going to actually get we've had this URL domain 007intel.com. I maintain all of the websites. I do all the Facebook posting, so don't you dare blame any of that on Evan. I am going
She's
to
the whiz,
Well,
yeah.
we had a great professional website that I built I think a year ago or something. It was perfect. I mean, but then I just started kind of tweaking with it, and I'm like, being a perfectionist, I'm like, I better just do this, add that, and then I just said, screw it. I'm just going to say, just go on Fiverr and find us on Fiverr, because we have had, all the glory goes to God. I mean, without God, none of this would be possible. And I think there's a correlation, when good things are happening in your business, it's because you're abiding in the highest and you love everybody. I mean, even though this person did this to us, God commands me to love this person because this is still my brother. You know what I mean? And that's why it hurts. And I love this person and I want the best for this person. And I've even prayed for this person. And I feel so bad because at first I thought it was somebody else, because it coincided at the time. I said, no, that doesn't make sense. She just plagiarized a gig, but that's okay. And, and I love her too. All of our enemies, we have to love our enemies, right? And I'm sorry, guys. I've had way too much coffee. I need some water. And I'm going to let Evan conclude with some closing comments, okay?
Okay.
For a little over 30 minutes, Evan.
Okay. That's the perfect amount of time. I think to go any longer would be we would be repeating something, but that's the sort of thing that we've been dealing with recently, and we're going to be adding a lot and generating a lot of content to bring these sorts of issues to light. And this is just the first of a number of conversations that we're going to have about these issues, and hopefully they will bring some information to anyone who's curious about how it works. And particularly, we always say, we're in the state of Texas and we go by those rules, but the rules are very similar. We've done work with individuals and clients and others in many states. I couldn't even tell you how many, but what we
of course online.
Of course, online. And what we describe is the way it works generally regarding licensure and that sort of thing. And it can differ from state to state, but the key being that a PI must be licensed. The firm typically must be licensed. It is a regulated industry, and there are those who, for whatever reason, don't understand it, don't like it, or could not participate in it as they wished, will put out disinformation about it. And
Absolutely.
That's what we are hoping to correct.
And can I incorporate one fun fact?
Absolutely.
Speaking of the Texas Department of Public Safety,
Yes.
We can find your LinkedIn, for example, and see that you're a certified public accountant, CPA.
As well, yes.
Yeah, so we are so friends with the DPS that Evan is actually doing accounting work for one of the retired Texas Rangers. Okay, so we have a very close love and close connection with DPS. We adore every trooper, every ranger, every intelligence analyst, every employee. Such a great agency, such a great, law enforcement agency, I should call them.
Absolutely.
I sound tired. I should probably, we got to find a closing point, Evan.
Well,
I can hear it in my voice.
On that, we will close it. Just that this is the beginning. There will be a lot more information come out, and we will do our best for it to be useful and practical and informative.
Yes. Thank you all so much for tuning in. We love all of you, and God bless you.